Hold on to your hats, folks. Brace yourself for some jaw-dropping news. In the wake of President Vladimir Putin's brutal invasion of Ukraine, Russia is once again in the hot seat for more sanctions. But wait, there's a twist. The proposed sanctions would cut off oil and gas exports, sending shockwaves through the global market. While this move might seem like sweet justice for Putin's aggressive actions, it comes with a catch. The stakes have never been higher, and the consequences could be catastrophic. Ukraine has been locked in a fierce battle against Russia's brutal invasion for years, but the tide's finally turning in their favour thanks to some key strategic moves by the West. The delivery of top-of-the-line military equipment from the US and Germany has proven to be a game-changer for the Ukrainian military, giving them the tools they need to stand up to Putin's aggression. But it's not just the tanks and other hardware that are making a difference. Export restrictions on critical military technologies have also had a major impact. By limiting Russia's access to semiconductors and other dual-use tech, the West has dealt a serious blow to Putin's military might. Of course, Russia is not taking these setbacks lying down. They are scrambling to find new suppliers for the equipment and technologies they need to maintain their dominance on the battlefield. But according to some research, gaps are beginning to emerge in their supply chains. All of these factors are coming together to tip the scales in the Ukraine's favour, but the fight is far from over. With the help of their Western allies, Ukraine is standing strong against the Russian invasion and proving that they will not back down in the face of aggression. When it comes to limiting Putin's influence, economic sanctions haven't quite packed the punch we were hoping for. Despite nearly freezing $300 billion in Russian central bank reserves, courtesy of the United States, Europe and other countries, Putin's ability to bribe his way through export restrictions remains intact. Sure, the piggy bank may have shrunk a bit, but it's not like the guy is hurting for change. It's like trying to stop a locomotive with a fly swatter. It may slow it down a bit, but it's not going to bring it to a screeching halt. Having said that, it's been a bumpy ride for Moscow's oil and gas exports, with restrictions causing more chaos than calm. Despite the best intentions, the consequences have failed to deliver the desired results. The restrictions haven't succeeded in bringing Russia's economy to its knees, nor have they forced Putin to wave the white flag. Instead, the outcome has left many scratching their heads and wondering what's next for this tumultuous situation. And then Western allies had a choice of either impose harsh economic sanctions or to cut off the flow of Russian gas and oil. They chose the latter, and while it did help raise energy prices, it also made Putin wealthier than ever before. The result? A jaw-dropping $227 billion surplus on Russia's current account. But the consequences of this decision were felt across the world. Inflation skyrocketed, and the cost of alternative energy sources was enough to make any European consumer's eyes water. Governments scrambled to reduce the impact on businesses and people, but that meant running up huge budgetary deficits. As a result, tensions flared between the haves like Germany and the have-nots. The economic divide widened and conflicts ensued. The world is a giant chessboard with various countries vying for power and influence. On one side you have the West with the US leading the charge, on the other you have China, a rising superpower that's eager to establish itself as a major player on the global stage. And of course Russia, with its vast reserves of oil and gas, is a key player in the energy market. The West has long relied on Russian energy to fuel its economies, but China is also looking to secure its energy needs, and Russia is more than happy to oblige, offering discounts on its oil to China-led emerging economies. For the West, this is a worrisome development. After all, China is its main economic and geopolitical rival, and the last thing it wants for its competitors to gain advantages. Cheaper energy means lower costs for Chinese companies, which can then sell their products at a lower price and outcompete Western companies. The West is well aware of these risks, and it is not sitting idly by. It's looking for ways to counter China's rise, including by diversifying its source of energy and investing in alternative energy technologies. But the fact remains that China is a formidable opponent, and the battle for energy supremacy is far from over. So the scenario is something like this. On one side, the Western allies who still believe that the pressure on Russia would be increased by imposing harsher sanctions on their hydrocarbon industry. On the other side, Putin's regime, which is facing a new challenge in the form of a decline in demand for their oil and gas. Who will come out on top? A recent analysis by the Kiev School of Economics sheds light on this epic struggle. The G7's top economies, according to the study, should consider reducing the $60 per barrel price restriction on Russian oil to $50, and possibly even as low as $30 or $35. Furthermore, the report suggests that Europe should stop importing Russian gas altogether, except for what passes through the Ukraine. Why the change in tune? Well, a study highlights the tide has turned. While last year Europe was heavily reliant on Russian energy imports, the tables have now turned. So who will win this war of attrition? Only time will tell, but for now, it seems that the West has the upper hand, with the potential to drive a hard bargain and weaken Russia's economy. Will Putin back down, or will he dig in his heels and hold out for a better deal? The stakes are high and the outcome is far from certain. And now word on the street is that Russia's cash flow for selling their previous hydrocarbons is about to take a major hit this year. Brace yourself, because reports are saying that their export earnings are set to plummet by a whopping 50%, leaving them with only around $180 billion in their pockets. But wait, there's more. If you thought that was bad enough, imagine another $40 billion disappearing from their wallets in additional restrictions are imposed. 2/3 of that loss would come from decreased oil revenue, with the remaining third from lower petrol revenues. Chaos on the streets, sirens blaring, and robbers sprinting out of banks with bags full of cash. All of this could become a reality if the ruble takes a nosedive and prices skyrocket, leading to a surge in bank heists and capital flight. But what if the Kremlin retaliates with some countermeasures of their own? They might impose strict capital controls or even resort to creating money out of thin air. Such actions may seem tempting, but they come with a heavy price. The public might view them as an act of desperation, making Putin's administration increasingly unpopular. But wait, let's take a look at the flip side of the coin, shall we? As we delve deeper into Russia's gas transportation through Turkey, it becomes apparent that diverting the gas would be a monumental challenge. Nevertheless, the global price of gas could soar, and Russia could potentially redirect its liquefied natural gas exports from Europe to other lucrative markets. Alas, even if stricter sanctions were imposed, there's no guarantee that they would be enough to topple Putin's regime or bring an end to the ongoing conflict. History has shown us that there are certain regimes that can remain steadfast in the face of adversity. With their citizens bearing the brunt of the suffering, it's a sobering thought, but one that cannot be ignored. Not to forget that the winds of change are blowing, and if the cost of oil and petrol started to soar, the landscapes of the financial world would shift. The forecast would be a storm of anxiety over a possible economic downturn, inflation on the rise, interest rates soaring, and budget deficits spiralling out of control. The political realm would feel the aftershocks of these concerns, with politicians bracing themselves for a backlash. The pressure would be on to navigate these choppy waters and keep the ship state on course. And that's all for now. Thanks for tuning in to our finance video channel. At our channel, we strive to empower our viewers with knowledge and understanding of the financial world. If you haven't already, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest videos. Also, feel free to share our videos with your family, friends and colleagues who may also benefit from the information shared on the channel. We'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a great day and bye for now.